Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 9th day of August 2021. Well, I was thinking that while I was getting ready to do this, that our oldest, our first child, our son, both we have two boys, but our first son, he was born toward the end of August, and so he'll be 41 this year. And we were just with all of them for our grandchildren's joint birthday party, and on the 31st of last month. And so it was really interesting to see them both together and in the context of the grandchildren. And and in terms of the age difference, between the generational appearance, I should say, of all of us, and the gray hair that my boys are getting, and not they've not they didn't do what happened to me. This started when I was 16, so I had a little streak right over here that was starting underneath, and it just gradually grew, and eventually, when I was 33, I stopped dyeing my hair, and I just let it go to this, and so I've been like this for a long time. But so is my husband, as a matter of fact. We both did this early in life, but me sooner though than he did, and uh, but our oldest is going to be 41 in a few days, and it just feels so odd. I was 21 when we got married, and we got married in May on Cinco de Mayo, and I think I got pregnant in November sometime, and had him in August, and so we hadn't even been married a year when we decided to have a child, and because we were both eager to start a family. I had already graduated from college a year before, and he was off doing his thing. He had just come back from the military, and got reestablished at home, and everything else, and so it was just, but thinking about this time, and that he's going to be 41 this year, just, I got to tell you, it just blows me away. I don't really feel my age, which is weird, but at the same time, it's when you've got all three generations, and now that there are three generations of us, together, you really do see it, and it's kind of cool, really. I mean, it was really just the best day ever that we had, and with all of them, and to be together like that as a family, and there was some friends there of theirs that I knew from when they were both in college, and so that was cool too, to get to see them, and but I don't know, passages. You start thinking about that when you get together, I guess. The first time in all this time that we've been together, all of us, and well, not all of us, because my oldest son's wife had to work. They don't have any kids, but she had to work. She's a neuroscientist, and things happen in the lab, and she's got to be there. And I just think that it would have been better had she been there, because we haven't seen her in a while, and since the pandemic started, and we miss her. So it would have been complete had she been there, but we understand. So, I mean, when the beaker calls, right? Or whatever little mouse thing she's got going on, that's what she does, and she's got to be there. So anyway, let's get my keyboard out of the way. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you caught Esoteric Influences. If not, it's up on the blog or here on the YouTube channel. I got my proofs for Herbal Magica. This is the proof ribbon that goes on there. It says it's not for sale. It's a proof copy, not for resale. But anyway, it turned out to be pretty good. I was happy with the presentation of it, and so anyway, if you're interested, this is the Amazon copy of it. It's also available from other booksellers as well. But if you go over there to Amazon, this one's there. It's also in Kindle format. It's also in ebook format over on Apple and let's see, Barnes and Noble. So Nook, if you have a Nook reader. Kobo, it's also there. Biblioteca. Let's see, Barnes and Noble, Apple, Tolino, Vivlio. they have a whole bunch. The one place that I use, they upload to a lot of different booksellers, and so they can be pretty much be found wherever you get your ebooks or wherever you buy your books. And so anyhow, now that other than Apple though, or rather other than Amazon, there's no other print copy. I haven't done one on the other site. I'm hesitant to do it because I don't know what it'll look like. So it's like, oh no, I don't even want to get started on it. Not when it's available over on Amazon. So you can just get it there if you want the print copy. If you like print books, then you can write in it and put your own notes. That's why I would recommend the print copy. It's only $1 more than the ebook copy. So, you know, if you are somebody like me that likes to write in books and make notes and things like that, drives my husband crazy, then I would recommend the print copy of it. So anyhow, if you're interested, it's over there on Amazon. And and I also went ahead and cross-published Shifting Perceptions over there as well, both in ebook and print copy as well. So there'll be a print copy available of that, and that's live over there now too. That was just over on the other place and it was over on Scribd. That's the other one that has it, and Scribd has all this other stuff too. The Shifting Perceptions, and I went and I uploaded a bunch of stuff I had posted over on Amazon that I was selling over there. I've got it on the other booksellers as well now. So now that I figured out how to unhook myself from Amazon and do that, I finally figured out how to do that. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, that's enough shuffling. Let's go ahead and draw the runes. We'll do the Elder Futhark rune first, and then we'll discover the Geomancy rune. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you so much. I hope you'll click subscribe and come back and give this a like. I guess Google likes us to say that. I don't know. I don't know why. But anyway, it probably has to do with advertising. But I don't advertise on this. I don't have enough subscribers to do that. And I don't know even if I did that I would. But I think it has to do with that. They figure it out that way. Let's see. We have Dagaz. Now, Dagaz is an interesting rune. Some rune masters put this at the end of the Elder Futhark as the 24th one instead of Othala. Now, I tried both ways because it really does seem like this, because you're talking about a new day. You're talking about all doors open, all opportunities, new opportunity, one period coming to a close and another beginning. So you can see why it might be at the end. You know, I get why people want to put it there, but I think originally it was not. I think it was Othala that was there, but then who would know, really? I mean, these are so old, it's difficult to know how they conceived of them. Maybe there was no order at all. Maybe there was just a bunch of runes people used and it was not in any particular order. But of course, we like to order everything, and that's what's happened now. But Dagaz, you can see Gebo in the center. You can see Kenaz forward and reversed. You can see Isa terminating each end. So I don't know, you know, think of it as new day. Think of it as maybe one period is ending and another is beginning. All options are open to you, maybe. Let's see what we have. All right, we have a single dot for earth, 2 for air, 1 for water, and 2 for fire. So we have Fortuna Major here for today, which is fascinating given Dagaz. Oh my God. Well, that says Fortuna Major. Here we have Fortuna Major. This is greater fortune. So maybe there's going to be like a promotion, or maybe some money's going to come in from some place to you. Maybe you're going to be successful at something. I mean, fortune usually deals with money, but it doesn't have to. Maybe I know, maybe someone you know is in the hospital with COVID, and they're gonna get better and they're gonna come home. So it could be anything like that, any type of positive outcome or greater fortune. And we have all new options are open for that, right? All options are available. Well, we'll see. We'll see if the cards are going to bear that out, or if they're going to suggest something else. I think, because what I like to do here is I like to have the runes cast the overall intention of the reading, and then we'll see if the 5 cards we draw, if they're going to give us the details. Okay? So I've done some shuffling before we got started, and let me pull my cards back here because they're kind of bendy today. So, all right, let's go ahead and we'll take the first 3 cards. The first card is the Page of Wands. The second card is the Hanged Man. And the third card is the Queen of Cups. So let's take a look at those, and then we'll look at the card that challenges us and the card that benefits us. So we've got 2 court cards surrounding visually when we want to look at the cards, we want to take a look at the whole layout. So what I see here, we've got a page and a queen. So we've got 2 court cards, one a youthful person with new ideas, new awakening, new everything really. And then we have, and see, wands is the fire element. So we're talking about somebody who's a risk taker, who's intelligent, who's not afraid to go out there and do something, but it's not on the level of the knight. So the intensity isn't quite as great. We're still a student. We're still a messenger. We're still bringing new experiences with the page. But they can be diplomatic. It's almost like he's out there trying to present something to somebody. It's like maybe well, you're there in the Holy Land, so I'm not sure what that has to do with it, but we've got a straight alignment with that wand, don't we, or with that staff. In the Rider-Waite, wands are depicted as staffs or as clubs, but sticks, a varying length. We'll just say that. But maybe he's ready. He's there to present new ideas and new creativity from a spiritual standpoint, maybe. The Queen of Cups, though, we're talking about someone, she's there in her throne. Now, you can see her cape here practically becomes one with the rocks on the ground, doesn't it? It almost merges with it. As she sits there gazing reflectively with the large chalice, ornate chalice in her hands she's holding. Right there on the water's edge. She's emotional, she's compassionate, she's reflective, she's generous, she's kind. She can have trouble setting boundaries. She's only, I would say, so trustworthy because, she's a little bit fickle. So loyalties might shift a little bit. Boundaries might be an issue. So when you're talking about then the Page of Wands and the Queen of Cups, then it's almost like you've got the son and the mother. The son is trying to present something to the mother, and mother's just being reflective. You could look at it that way. And so to figure out what you need to do, we have the 12th card of the Major Arcana, the Hangman, which means you need to surrender to inner awareness. This is going to be an interesting reading to interpret. The Hangman is about surrender, surrendering control, basically surrendering control to spirit. I can't even say it this morning. But we've got triplicities represented. We've got 1. There's 1 there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It still doesn't add up to 12, though. I've never been able to figure out what's going to be the 4th one there, the 4th triplicity. Maybe it's the gallows pole himself and then spirit entering in. Maybe that's it. Could be. If anybody else has any ideas of what that 4th triplicity might be, mention it in the comments. But basically, he's just hanging from 1 foot, isn't he? And he's just trusting the process. He's in alignment with his own spirit, and he's invoking that into form. I think that that it's an as above so below experience. um Alignment, transformation, sacrifice, letting go, spiritual focus, which in a sense this is indicating that, because you see the three pyramids here of the Holy Land, and that's always interpreted as like a journey to spirituality, especially when a knight is going there. I've told this story before. Robert the Bruce, who's a relative, his heart was taken to the Holy Land. That was a thing. I don't know. I don't know why. The leader's heart. I don't know. They took his heart to the Holy Land, the Knights Templar did, and the Knights Templar who did that was also a relative of mine. And so I tend to interpret anything pyramid related as Holy Land, and then as a journey towards spirituality. Given that the pole is perfectly up and down, well, almost perfectly up and down. It's a little bit slightly skewed to him at the top. But basically his message is strong. It's aligned with spirit. So I wonder, I mean we're going to leave the hangman where it is, but we could even theoretically we could even start with the queen, where you're reflecting on what's important to you. I mean, because in a sense, the Hanged Man is the ultimate expression of both the Page of Wands and the King and the Queen of Cups, isn't it? Because they're both talking about alignment and surrender and reflection, and not, well, this one's more reflection, but they're both aligned, right? She's aligned in her own I don't know, compassion, maybe. Everything seems to be reflective and compassionate with her. You could say the Page of Wands is speaking truth to power with that card. But I think it doesn't reflect the we can't ignore that. We can't ignore the pyramids here. And it doesn't then align with the hangman, unless the power you're standing in is based on spirit. Let's look at the from the standpoint of greater fortune, alignment in spirit is what's going to benefit you more than alignment in ego. You might, you could make a whole lot of money if you're, in other words, if you're service to self, you could make a whole lot of money, but you're not happy, right? And nobody likes you. Maybe they want you, maybe they want to use you, but it's not it's a transactional relationship that you have with others generally when it's service to self. When it's service to others, then it's a very different, it's a more spiritual focus. And it just seems like people come down on one side of the equation or the other with that. So the 13th card, well, the King of Pentacles. The challenge is not to get too comfortable in our own wealth and our own success and our own agenda, maybe, if we're trying to surrender to spirit here. This is exactly the service to self guy I'm talking about here. And then let's look at the benefit card, what benefits us, what will provide us our support and strength when we're aligning in spirit to try to move forward into something new that's going to give us some measure of success, whatever that means, whether it's financial or not. If the Hanged Man wasn't there, then this would be a very different reading, but it is, and you can't ignore it, because being the there it is. Hair is weird. I don't know. Mine likes to vine around my glasses. It's like, no, don't do that, because then I can't find it. It was much easier when I didn't have bangs. It was all parted down. My mother used to call me her hippie daughter. I suppose I was. Now here, the benefit card is that you're going to make a decision either way. Now the juggler is standing there on one foot, and he's weighing something out here. Both sides of the equation. Now, if you want to draw that into spirit and ego and versus ego, I suppose you can, but I don't know that that's necessary. This is Pentacles, and so this is material security. So obviously, whatever this has to do with, the fortune has to do with your material security. But here he's weighing something out. It's emotional for sure. You can see the waves are, doing this. You got the boats up there in the background trying to survive the experience out there in the extremely choppy water. And it's almost like he's going back and forth about it. He doesn't really know what to do. But as soon as you can make a decision about what it is you want to do and what focus you want to have, the better off you're going to be. And at that point, then all doors open. In a way, isn't it the same thing? When all doors open, when all options are on the table, when something is finished and something new is beginning. See, there's your Degas. But now we know what it all has to do with. We've gotten an indicator with it, with the King of Pentacles, that it's wealth and actual wealth, actual financial security, material security. And given that this is Pentacles, the same is true. Now you notice something here. I like to look at directionality of different things. It's like in the Lover's card. You'll see Adam and Eve. You'll see the tree of life behind, or the tree of knowledge behind Eve, and you'll see the oak tree behind Adam. You'll see the angel above on some clouds, but in the background you see this mountain, and its peak goes just slightly. It just slightly bends toward Eve and the tree of knowledge and strength. And how I interpret that is that those that were here at the time, that were manipulating our DNA and creating humanity as we have it now, that they gave the knowledge to the women, because when you look at the Lover's card, Adam is staring straight over at Eve, but Eve is staring up at the angel. So they gave it to somebody that would listen. They gave it to somebody who was literally the mother of creation, after they were the mothers of creation. Okay, so, but from that point forward, the woman is the one that has the babies. So the woman is the one who's been tasked with birthing creation. Okay, and so the strength is that way. The focus is on her, not on him. He's just there to go get food and firewood and stuff, right? That's all he was good for, and to mate with, right? So she could continue to have babies. So that the strength is with the woman. And when you look here, if you think of his left hand over here as being the receptive side of presence, or the female side of presence, look where he's looking this way. So it's clear that, and also it corresponds with his foot being up, as above, so below. Now that's a little esoteric, and maybe we don't need to read into it that much, but I think it's really interesting when you liken it to Degas, that you're really looking toward this being the solution, spirit being the solution. When you think of, and I guess aligning in spirit, see, then you have the Hangman. Which then, it means then we have the opportunity to live in a service to others type of experience, maybe, versus a service to self. One that is based on spirit and spirit awareness versus ego awareness. I think that we're seeing an awful lot right now of ego awareness being manifested, particularly with governors from red states like Florida, that he seems hell-bent on killing his people. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why he's doing what he's doing, because it's resulting in really bad stuff. So why would you do it? It's killing people. In other words, there's a lot of things that don't make any sense. It's like, here's the way it needs to be, so they're going to go and do something else. They're going to do the polar opposite of it. And if people are harmed, oh well. Okay? That can't be someone's greater fortune. Okay? The greater fortune is having compassion for others and finding a way through something together and making sure everybody has the right information and that they're making the right decisions for everyone. They're even saying now Florida is third in the world. I think there's only 2 other places that have worse COVID outbreaks than, and Florida is third in the world. And they're saying if we could stop travel in and out of Florida, we should do it. If Florida were another country, we would stop travel. And now you've got Floridians that are telling everybody they know, don't come here. It's not safe. You've got parents who are suing that governor because of his mask policy for schools. And then if you require masks, I'm going to defund the schools. Are you kidding me? Why does he want to harm the children? You got to ask yourself that, right? Again, the decisions that we make are based on material security, at least with this reading. The challenge is to not let that be just about you. The challenge is to let spirit govern the process. When you look at the feminine side of things, when you look at the in terms of polarity, and this is energy, this is not gender, okay? This is not man and woman, all right? This is masculine and feminine polarity. What you see when you have the expression out into creation, but that I feel is from the Great Mother, that's just me. It comes from a void. And that's the receptive side of self. And so it comes from the darkness. It comes from nothingness, and it is born. Isn't that what happens when a baby is birthed from the womb? The baby is in the void. It grows in the void. It's in the darkness. And then it comes out into the light when it's born, either by C-section or normal birth, right? It's the same basic experience going from darkness to light. Well, you have to make a choice. Are you going to be service to self or service to others when you come out into that light? That choice gets made before you ever incarnate into that little baby, right? That's made by the soul. What am I going to do when I get there, in other words? What's going to be my overall theme in life? What kind of person am I going to be? Am I going to be someone focused solely on myself, or like this guy is? Because his back's to the kingdom, surrounded by his wealth. It's not helping the kingdom. Not at all, right? We just went through that with the former guy. And now the new guy's trying to fix it all, right? Well, that's going to take time. And I love the odd thinking. I love the odd thinking about the virus. It's like, well, if you are, first they tell us we got to do this, it'll get rid of the virus. But the virus is still here. Well, guess what? We didn't all do it. It's like they missed that piece. In other words, we're supposed to deal with the virus that's out of control without anybody stopping it. If you give it a place to go, in other words, if you don't wear a mask, you give the virus somewhere to go. It transmits. If you keep it here, it doesn't go anywhere. It stays with you. It burns out. You don't go around anybody if you have it, right? If you can get through it and live through it. You don't end up in the hospital on a ventilator with it, right? If you put a mask over your face, you stay away from people. If you have it, it goes away. It goes away with you. But now, we just had Sturgis. Almost between 700,000 and 1 million people were expected? They all go back to their homes. Everywhere. Other states, other countries. In normal times. Maybe not from other countries now, but all the other states, they all went. They all go home, taking it with them. And it's the Delta variant, which is much worse. So we're going to have to see next couple 2-3 weeks what happens. But right now the hospitals in these areas where it's spiking up, they're overwhelmed. There's no bed space, not even for other people, right? So again, decisions have to be made about our material security. And if we base it on spirit, that's what I'm interpreting that card to be, the spirit side of things, then I think we can take a more reflective view of things, right? And a more compassionate one, speaking truth to power in a way that people need to hear. This is about truth. The wands can be about truth, and clarity. And the Page of Wands, he's just standing there so sure of himself, isn't he? That spirit is the way to go. And again, I mean, we could have begun with the Hanged Man. You know, we could have moved the cards around and begun there. And after you understand, you know, who it is that you need to be, you're going to speak truth to power and also express compassion. That's part of it. And reject the service to self approach to things. And let your decision be based on spirit. Because look where he's looking. He's looking to this one. In his left hand, in his receptive hand. All right? The feminine polarity is on the left. The masculine polarity, or projective self, receptive self, projective self. Okay? And I think because the Hanged Man is in the reading, that's how I'm gonna interpret this. I think that the new day is upon us. I think that our greater fortune is found in compassion to one another. I think that it is in healing. It's in following a collective, collaborative, shared path based on a single-minded focus of healing and love and unity and expression of the collective consciousness into form, to allow people to die this way. For that to be okay with some people. It's like, well, I'm going out. You know, if you're afraid, if you think you're going to get sick, then don't leave your home. See, that's the logic. That's the selfish logic that's going on right now. You know, I just think that, you know, you could look at the two of these as both sides of the coin, right? Both sides of the experience, where here you have maybe more projective and here you have receptive. But this is about healing, and this is about speaking truth to power and standing up for what's right. It's like the rune Tiwaz and the god Tyr. Well, we're going a little long today. But I think that's where we are. You look at the president of France, who says, okay, y'all either get vaccinated and prove it before because you're going to have a thing before you can improve it, some kind of card or whatever they're going to use to get into anywhere. Stores, whatever, doesn't matter. Because he says, we're tired of you. We're tired of you hurting everybody, you keeping us all back, because you won't want to cooperate. So they just laid the law down and said, that's it, we're done. We're done with you. You either get your vaccine or you stay home. Because otherwise you're not coming in anywhere. And I don't know if they've made some caveat that says if you wear a mask, you can. I don't know. I don't know what they've done there. I didn't see that. But he got angry, and I don't blame him. You know, we're all sick of it. We're all sick of having to deal with this. It feels like all on our own, while a group of people in the country has just decided, well, we don't believe any of it. Well, lucky you. Tell that to the people who've lost people. And I'll bet these people have lost people too to the virus. But what is it? Is it just, oh, well? It can't be. It just can't be. That isn't who we are. So I just wish they'd knock it off, you know? Let's get through this. Someone said on Twitter, this is summer, folks. What do you think's going to happen in the winter? If this is happening now in the summertime when it shouldn't be, what's going to happen in the winter? Again, wear a mask whether you've been vaccinated or not. Please, just wear a mask if you're around people. You're out at the stores, wear a mask, please. This Delta variant is terrible, and for us to survive it, we all have to do this again, and keep doing it until the people that can't figure it out finally do. So, but please don't get into it with anybody who can't figure this out. It's not safe to do that either. So you don't need whatever it is they're going to do as a response. So just get your shopping done quickly, get in and get out, wear a mask, whether you've been vaccinated or not. So, and it's going to be what it's going to be at this point. We could have gotten past it, but people in this country decided that they didn't want to do that, I guess. So they wanted to make it difficult for everyone. while thinking, oh, freedom, right? It's communism to wear a mask, right? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's sense, common sense, not communism, common sense, right? Anyway, that's it. I'm done ranting. I was online too much this weekend and I was seeing too much garbage that was happening and I was just outraged. It's like, oh my God, could you just stop, please? Just stop. No more. Enough. But no. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll talk again Thursday. But again, pay attention to how you see what greater fortune is. What is that for you? Is it really money, or is it the safety and security of everybody being on the same page and having compassion for one another? So that's mine anyway. Thanks for watching. We'll talk again Thursday. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.